Hey there everyone, it's Bob Martin, the RC Subguy with the NautilusDryDocks.com, and had a little bit of an adventure on Friday, which is 2 days ago. It's Sunday, April the... I don't even know what the date is right now. It's now Sunday. It's been in 2 days since the event. Running a submarine, testing it out for its maiden voyage, and down it went right about here. We made some attempts to recover, did not manage to find it, and so we have Chris, diver, who's going to try and recover it. He's got some video camera with him. We're going to see what he sees. Let's see how it works. All right, I'm feeling like we need to set the stage a little bit more than what I did at the lake yesterday. We were running the USS Cobia, which is a 1/72nd scale Revell Gato class submarine model with a 2.5-inch subdriver. Bench test went absolutely perfectly. It was an absolutely gorgeous boat. I had no reservations about running it in the pond, and I really never do, or I wouldn't bring models there. The boat was sent out on its maiden voyage. It did a lap surfaced, and then I vented ballast, went down to periscope depth, did about a half a lap, and then all of a sudden the boat assumed a nose down attitude and was completely lost to view. The ballast system did not blow in advance. It has a snort ballast system. It needs access to air, but the failsafe is set up in such a manner that all dive planes move to surfaced condition with a very slight forward throttle to try and push it up to the surface. So we at this point did not know what was going on. Lost the sub from view, had a very good idea where it was. It was very close to shore, pointed towards the shore when we lost view of it. Jason and myself and my son, Logan, spent at least an hour and a half looking for the boat. We did have a pair of goggles, which allowed us to see, but the conditions at the lake were beyond our limited swimming and search and rescue skills, unfortunately. Now, a big mistake that we made is when we were walking out, we were disturbing all of the silt, and as soon as you touch the bottom, the water turns murky. You cannot see more than a few feet ahead of you, and it's a completely lost endeavor to try and find anything. So, employed the services of Chris, who came out on Sunday, and let's see what happens.
How to mission to find a submarine. A little dark and dusty, but I think we're gonna be able to find it. Never really know. Alright. There she is, boys. 245.
Sure. It's nice fish. Okay.
There we go.
So that was about as anticlimactic a search and rescue as you could hope for. That video that you just watched was basically in real time. It took Chris about 25 seconds to locate the boat. And before you ask yourself, well, why didn't you see it if it was that close and that easy? What Chris told me was that the boat actually went under the surface skipped along the bottom for a little bit and wedged itself under a rock outcropping. So from the surface, there is absolutely no way to see it. And the only thing sticking out was a little bit of the stern section. We were probably literally standing on top of the boat numerous times during our own search and rescue efforts. Chris did apologize. He was actually surprised, so surprised that he found it so quickly. He didn't get a great video shot of the recovery, but the important thing is he did. So I want to show you the aftermath. I want to show you the boat after we cracked it open. So here is the hull. As it would be expected, we got some sand in there. There were one or two little snails who decided to catch a ride. You can see a little scratch from where the rock trapped the boat. That is where it was kind of pinned down underneath. The boat has positive buoyancy, and actually it drove underneath the rock, and then after the prop started spinning, eventually when the battery died, it just floated up and locked itself underneath that rocky outcropping. The cylinder itself, when we opened it up, was actually in really good shape. So 2 days at about 12 feet of water depth, and forward battery compartment probably had maybe 3/4 of an inch of water, which got up to the level of the battery, but nowhere near the electronics, the electronic switch, the servo. So I'm fairly confident this is all going to be just fine when we do some testing later on today. Rear battery compartment had, or electronics compartment had even less water, maybe, you know, like a centimeter of water in the bottom. So I don't think we're going to have any issues there either. There's no sensitive electronics on the bottom. There's just a pump, electric pump. We're going to make sure that that works, obviously. But all in all, the cylinder held up remarkably well for being at extreme depth for over 48 hours. So sort of trial by fire there for this particular boat. We're going to get it back to the shop today, check everything out, make sure it goes, and then we're going to head back to the pond and test it out. So there you go. Lessons learned in this particular endeavor. Keep with you at all times a floating marker buoy. Keep it in your pocket. If at any time you lose sight of your boat or you're worried that it is going to go astray on you, throw the marker buoy exactly where you see the boat. As soon as you do that, sight, and after you make your recovery efforts, obviously with your transmitter, sight along the shoreline past your marker buoy. Get a landscape marker in sight, some point of reference, so that you can begin to triangulate where the boat went down. If there's another person nearby, get them to do the same from a place a little further away, and that'll allow you to create a cross-section that'll allow you to pinpoint where the boat was initially lost. Obviously, also bring with you, every time you go, set of goggles, set of flippers, and your swim trunks. There would be nothing more embarrassing as having to go swimming in your blue jeans and t-shirt. You might want to make sure that you can get changed. Keep that kind of stuff in your boat. And you're going to want to make sure you have the number, possibly of a local diving club. A lot of times they'll do it just for the experience or because it's cool to retrieve a submarine. I gave Chris some money. It was the fastest, easiest money that he had ever made, I'm sure, but absolutely well worth it, because this would be a tragedy to lose to the depths. So there you go. The RC SubGuy himself succumbed to the loss of a boat, and I'm going to say this is the first time in 20 years of building a submarine that I was not able to retrieve the boat quickly and easily myself, and probably only the third or fourth time it's gone down to the point where I couldn't bring it back up via the transmitter. So I'm going to count myself lucky. Hopefully you guys have the same amount of luck. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Pop me an email, bob@rc-subguy.com. nautilusdrydocks.com. I'll check the comments here on the channel from time to time, but I don't usually get to it very often. I would love to hear from you though. Email is always best for me. Check out my website, nautilusdrydocks.com. There's lots of cool stuff there. I am Bob Martin, the RC Sub Guy with the nautilusdrydocks.com.